Hello candidates and welcome to the Manifested e-learning platform. Today we will continue with the subject Advanced Financial Management. The topic is Contemporary Issues and Emerging Trends. We are going to pick one emerging issue, which is crowdfunding. Crowdfunding, which is sometimes referred to as crowdsourcing. So candidates, in today's lesson, we have two objectives. The first objective is that by the end of this lesson, you should be able to define crowdfunding. Then objective number two, you should be in a position to outline the benefits of crowdfunding. So let's begin by defining crowdfunding. What is a meaning? What is a crowdfunding or crowdsourcing? Now, candidates, crowdfunding can be defined as a practice of funding startups or small firms or projects by raising small amounts of money from a large number of people. Raising small amounts of money from a large number of people. Crowdfunding, as the name suggests, crowd means many, all right? So crowdfunding is a practice of raising or funding startups or small firms or funding projects by raising small amounts of money from a large number of people. Do you understand? That is the meaning. And this practice of raising small amounts of money from a large number of people can be done by utilizing online social platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and other specialized blogs. In other words, candidates, it is an organized collective effort of many non-professional people who are embedded in trust to finance a venture via the internet, where a large number of people are organized collectively to raise small amounts of money through the internet for the purposes of funding a project or funding a startup or funding a small firm. Then we say that's crowdfunding. It can also be referred to as crowdsourcing. The process of obtaining needed services, needed assets, knowledge, ideas by soliciting contributions from a large number of individuals. That is crowdsourcing. That's where we get the term crowdfunding, because crowdfunding is raising of money. It's not just money that can be raised from crowds or large number of people. You can also have what we call crowdsourcing, where a crowd of people solicit, ideas are solicited, assets are solicited, and so on. Crowdsourcing. That's the meaning of crowdsourcing. Now, candidates, in the case of crowdfunding, the same process is followed. I've just explained crowdsourcing. Crowdsourcing. I've said that crowdfunding is derived from crowdsourcing, that refers to the process of obtaining needed services, assets, knowledge, or ideas by soliciting contributions from a large number of individuals, especially from the what we call online community, rather than from the traditional employees or suppliers. In the case of crowdfunding, the same process is followed in procuring funds. And the objective of crowdfunding is to finance a project or an idea, or to help what we call philanthropic organization by soliciting funds in tiny units from a mass of people, from the crowd. That's the meaning of crowdfunding. Then, candidates, we need to outline the benefits of crowdfunding. Benefits of, what are the benefits? Benefits of crowdfunding. Having defined crowdfunding, then what are the benefits? Benefits of crowdfunding. Candidates, crowdfunding allows the fundraiser to tap into a broader investor pool and provides the investor with more flexible fundraising options. So we want to highlight some of the benefits. The first benefit of crowdfunding, number one, benefits. These are benefits. Benefits. Okay, the line has to be straight. So the first benefit, candidates will explain under the point reach. Reach. Now, a crowdfunding platform expands the fundraiser's reach by giving him or her access to thousands of investors who can see, interact, fundraiser can interact with and share a particular fundraising campaign. So it gives the fundraiser a wide reach. Wide reach. Let me use the term wide. Wide reach. Because the fundraiser uses an online platform, it can reach many people across the borders and so on. Wider reach. It has wider access to thousands and millions of investors. The second benefit of crowdfunding is in relation to public relations. Public relations. And related to public relations is marketing and marketing. Public relations and marketing. Now, candidates, from the launch to its closure, the fundraiser can share and promote his campaign through social media, through email newsletters, and other online marketing channels. And as the fundraiser and other media outlets cover the progress of the fundraiser, then the fundraiser can further promote his business by steering traffic to his website and other social media platforms. So crowdfunding can help a company improve its image and also its presence in the market. That's the second benefit. The third benefit, we can discuss this third benefit in relation to validation of concept. Validation of concept. Validation of concept. How is validation of concept beneficial? Now, candidates, the presentation of the business, the presentation of the fundraiser's business to the masses, all right, provides an opportunity to the fundraiser to validate and refine his or her business proposition. And we will also find that questions and expressions of interest from potential investors can make the fundraiser re-examine his business proposition. Because when you launch your campaign to many people, millions of people, there are many people will see your campaign at different perspectives, and they'll give you feedback. They'll ask you questions. They will enable you to see things from a perspective that you are not able to see. So by responding to queries, then the fundraiser can re-examine his business proposition, can make changes and improve. There are people who will criticize, those who will make jokes, others will provide positive criticism. And the fundraiser can use that to improve his business proposition, so that he can see whether he missed out on something important which would make his investors more likely to offer money for his project. Validation of concept. The fourth benefit of crowdfunding can be explained under the point efficiency. Efficiency. Now, candidate, crowdfunding is an efficient way to organize one's business. Why? Because in crowdfunding, an entrepreneur can centralize and streamline fundraising efforts by building a single comprehensive project profile to which he can direct all potential investors, and therefore eliminating the need to approach them individually. So instead of duplicating efforts by printing documents, compiling documents in booklets, and manually updating each one when there is an update, the fundraiser can present everything online in a much more accessible format, leaving him or her with more time to run his business instead of fundraising. So crowdfunding is an efficient way of organizing one's business. So these are four benefits of fundraising. We can add presentation. Now, candidates, by creating a crowdfunding platform, a fundraiser goes through the invaluable process of examining his business from every angle. All right? Right from the history of the business, the traction of the business, the offerings. These are the products, the services offered, the addressable market, the value proposition, and many other aspects of the business, thereby summarizing his business into a polished, attractive, and easily understandable proposition. Because you cannot do crowdfunding without going through the processes that I've mentioned. So that is one benefit that can accrue to a business or to an entrepreneur who decides to do crowdfunding. And with that, candidates, we effectively bring this lesson to a close. Remember, when I began, I mentioned that in this lesson, crowdfunding, under the topic Contemporary Issues and Emerging Trends, we had only two objectives. Number one is define crowdfunding, then explain the benefits of crowdfunding. That is the end of this lesson. That marks the end of the lesson. But before we take a break, I'll give you an assignment. Question number 1, explain the meaning of crowdfunding. Number 2, outline 7 benefits of crowdfunding. Thank you for attending this lesson and for being attentive. I hope to meet you in our next session where we continue to study more about contemporary issues and emerging trends in financial management. Bye-bye.